And we are live. Those notifications. Ads. Here we go. Here's my login. Howdy, Ted NDM. Good to see you. Jelly if they were Pokemon. Jellicent TTV. I wish I liked Jellicent. There are a lot of Pokemon that I like. Goodra. Goodra's prime jelly material. Jellicent naturally. But, you know, neither of them really do it for me. Hey everyone! Wow, a lot of people today. At least a lot of people filtering in right at the start. Good to see everyone. Let's roll that. Did I miss the PS1 Bloom? Nope. I'm saving it. I'm saving it. Can we restart at all? No? Oh. When was if I... Okay, gotcha. Hold on. We'll start it from the beginning. We'll start it from the beginning. Everyone ready? Is everyone ready? Let's roll it. Oh no, PlayStation 1. That was my first time hearing that sound. Interesting. Welcome, one and all, to the Capcom game everyone's talking about. Surely this is the one. We got it wrong the last time. It was not Ace Attorney, but this time for sure, it's definitely Resident Evil that everyone's talking about. PNG tuber model is awesome. Thank you. It was made by Madison Bake. It's got little transition states too. And they're actually working today. Well, you know, for now at least, I suppose. This title screen is awesome. It's pretty great. I didn't know there was FMV stuff in this game. I know surprisingly little about Resident Evil. I know there are zombies. There is Evil Corporation. There is Biovirus. It's usually called Biohazard. But the only way to survive this horror. Is this a gameplay demo we're getting? Oh, look at that crunchy ass fucking 3D model. Let's go. I don't think I've experienced any version of Resident Evil 1 now that I think about it. Ooh. They go to a residence and do it in Evil? I see. I'm now realizing tank controls. Oh no. Oh no. Yes, we get to see this again. Resident Evil. Alright. So, we are once again back for the ongoing month of streams. I'm assuming this is recorded directly off of your RG34XX, of course. No, this one's on my computer. I mean, DevKit PlayStation 1. Do you want some early advice on something that may dramatically make the playthrough better for you? Sure. Yeah. Yes, please. 90s live action cutscenes are so cool. No, you don't need to. No. Be smart. Fighting foes isn't the only way to survive this horror. I recommend not playing as Chris. Wow, that's a lot of shots to take down one enemy. Howdy, Curry Race. I think the virus thing is supposed to be a twist. Like, you're not supposed to think you're supposed to think it's supernatural zombies and whatnot. I see. Good to know. That is interesting information. Anyway, hi, we're here for the Death March, an ongoing month of streams where I'm looking at survival horror games. I'm gonna hit new game on. They said it. They said it. Which game does he punch boulders? That's Resident Evil 5. Obviously, we're playing as Jill Valentine. It's iconic. Is the goal to survive? Supposedly. You are meant to survive the horrors. But anyway, hi. We're here for a whole month of survival horror games. I don't have a fancy thesis statement and, you know, a syllabus drafted up like Mouse does for the cozy streams, but I'm here because last October, for the Spooktacular Streamathon, me and my friends, namely Mouse, Allison, and Smoke of the White, raised an insane amount for charity with the help of all you folks back home. And so, as a stretch goal, we were all required to do a themed month of streams. So, Mouse is doing cozy games, I am doing the exact opposite. Not on purpose, mind you, but that is how it turned out. I am looking at survival horror games. I'm going through them all in essentially chronological release order, playing the hits, and seeing what it is that makes this genre tick. Basically, I'm trying to see, essentially, how devs inflict horror on the player, and what makes the survival horror genre a unique kind of horror. With my general idea going in being the idea that it is a limited amount of resources, and the management of those resources that make a game survival horror. Finally, Jelly's Low Poly Soda found its home. Resident Evil. Oh, that's fun. What are the other titles lined up? If you check the Stream Games channel in the Discord, you'll be able to see all the games we have lined up. Is there any game that you're most looking forward to? Sorry, I think. Oh no, I'm dying. I had to take a big drink of water. Let me see what we have on the list. Let me go to the Stream Games. Let's see. Honestly, I'm most looking forward to Left 4 Dead 2. I'm gonna be doing a solo, realistic campaign in Left 4 Dead 2 because I want to look at how that changes the survival horror genre by adding multiplayer to it. And also, God, it's been forever since I last played Left 4 Dead 2. I love that game dearly, and I'm so excited to play it. However, I just want everyone to know in advance, that stream is going to be 70% vocal stims by volume, and there's nothing I can do about that. There is absolutely nothing that I could possibly do about that. That is perhaps the game of all time that gets me the worst. With just my echolalia goes crazy when I play Left 4 Dead, and it's not the lines you think it would be. It's not like pills here or stuff like that. No, it's like Ellis will do a pain grunt, and it's like my brain just screams at me, and I have to repeat it. Just oh. I just have to do it. I don't have any control. Poisoned by the sound design team, and the voice actors. It's Jesus Christ, my bad. We for the best legendary. Says like you say that like it's a bad thing. No spaces. Anyway, that's a long-winded wind-up to say we're here for Resident Evil, the first game to ever be called a survival horror game. This is the first game where the survival horror genre was applied. We played 2 games previously, Sweet Home and Clock Tower, which do have a lot of the DNA of what Resident Evil, what's the word that I'm looking for? Solidifies into the survival horror genre. Namely, Sweet Home is giving you a lot of your resource management. It's giving you a lot of your inspiration directly, because if I'm remembering correctly, the director for Sweet Home is the same director for Resident Evil, so you can see a lot of its DNA in that case. And of course, you're getting the horror genre in on that one as well. And with Clock Tower, we're getting a lot of the puzzle-solving elements. We're getting multiple endings, although I think Sweet Home has multiple endings as well, but we're getting multiple endings based on actions taken by the player that aren't just did some characters survive. And again, we're getting that horror theming, and generally linearity is another thing that I found is another aspect that I think is largely popular in the survival horror genre. I don't know if there are any non-linear survival horror games. I think that linearity is what sort of keeps you on the roller coaster, as it were. But I have never played a Resident Evil game start to finish. I have never played a Resident Evil game other than... Well, no, I've played a little bit of 7. Just a little bit of 7. I played some of 6, which I understand 5 and 6, outliers in terms of what the series is known for. And other than that, I got nothing. I watched Joe play Village. I've never played a classical Resident Evil all by myself. Not even the hits like Resident Evil 4. I think Metal Gear Survive counts as open world survivor horror, but that game sucks. Possibly. We do have a very loose definition for the term, but I'm really excited to play, so let's get into it. At the request or advice of TheDNTM, we will be playing Jill Valentine, which I think was going to be the plan to begin with. Let's get on in there. It's Jilly Channel. In July. Thank you, Flora, for the Tier 1 sub. Not the Resident Evil I expected, but a welcome game nonetheless. And thank you, Zaturks, for the Tier 3 sub. Thank you for 5 months.
Situated in northwest Raccoon City, we're searching for the helicopter of our compatriots Bravo team, who disappeared during the middle of our mission. No, I haven't found it yet. Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. Bravo team went to the hideout of the group and disappeared.
Look, Chris!
It was Bravo team's helicopter. Nobody was in it. But strangely, most of the equipment was still there. However, we soon discovered why.
Hey! Come here!
Oh my god.
Joseph!
Joseph, no!
No! Don't go! Run for that house!
Fuck yeah.
Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine.
I had no idea we were in for this. This is amazing.
Mary Burton. Rebecca Chambers. Albert Wesker.
Damn, he's so cool.
Resident Evil.
And Jelly Channel. They've escaped into the mansion where they thought it was safe. Yet. Oh shit, flash of lightning outside. Oh no.
What is this?
Wow. What a mansion!
Me.
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't open that door!
Don't open that door!
What is it?
Maybe it's Chris. Now, Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
Okay, let me handle this. Stay alert!
I'm so... I'm so unbelievably charmed. Okay, these door animations are core to what survival horror is, I guess. That's just part of the vibe.
A dining room.
A dining room. Alright. There we go. Alright. Okay, so it's not based on the camera, it's just based on my character. How do I examine things? A dusty-looking grandfather clock. A picture of a woman. Off we go. Thank you, Little Cactus, for the tier 1 sub. Hello, Jello.
What? What is this?
What is it?
Blood.
Blood.
Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Hope this is not Chris's blood.
I'm immensely charmed by the vibes. It's incredible. There's nothing inside. We're off to a fantastic start. I'm gonna love this. Picture of beautiful scenery. Dinner utensils. Off we go. I'm a massive fan of fixed camera angles like this. I really, really love when you can see, like, when the cinematography of just navigating around the area is part of, I'm not phrasing that right. I can't think, I like when you have dynamic camera angles like this. And it's constantly changing. And they can frame everything you see in a very particular way. Will you take the emblem? Oh, okay. 90s computer rendered images have a very neat aesthetic. They really do, yeah. Alright, another aspect, or rather, one thing that is considered a resource. Your inventory. Something I didn't really consider until I got to, I mean, Sweet Home had that already. I don't know how I didn't consider it beforehand. It's in pretty much almost every single survival horror game. Which might have to do with why Joe doesn't seem to like the genre very much. He fucking hates inventory management. I generally like to view it as, you know, it's part of the whole resource management. It's part of the tension of the situation. Although I think it's one of the resources that's most poised to add annoyance rather than tension. If not handled correctly or properly by the devs. Use the lockpick to open the door. I see. Do I have a limited number of those? Oh, I don't even have a lockpick. I see. If I want to check. Ooh. That's cool. Beretta M9 2FS. Automatic loaded with 9mm bullets. Right, I forgot. In old PlayStation games, X and circle both do the same thing, and then square and triangle go back. I think. No, they don't. Square is how you go back before, though. Okay. Check. I love the way it sort of twists into frame. There's a scratch. Someone may have used it. Game feels like some random indie game made today, which is insane. One of the games that I'm really excited for is the last one we're going to be playing, Crow Country. Because that's the most recent one, and it's obviously heavily, heavily, heavily inspired by games like Resident Evil. Even aesthetically. My biggest issue with inventory management isn't the managing part, but rather the navigating through menus part. Yeah, I can understand that. Let's see. It's locked from inside. I love watching old games. Means I don't notice the 360p my funk-ass internet forces me to have. Well, I'm glad there's some silver line in there in that case. God, I almost feel like my model is too, like, high resolution now. I wonder if I have a way to, like, crust it up. Oh! Let me just, sorry, excuse, don't mind me. Don't mind me, just gonna... Yeah, when it sucks, hit the bricks. Nothing you gotta do there. Just get the fuck out.
Barry?
Barry?
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this.
Jesus! Love the vertex shifting in the avatar, by the way. That was something that I'm really really happy Maddie was able to figure that out.
Maybe by this creature.
No, not Kenneth!
Anyway, let's report this to Wesker.
It was one of the first things I had in mind whenever I wanted to get this model commissioned, because I really love it's a really charming effect to have all the polygon vertexes just jitter around like that. So whenever I was commissioning Maddie, I was like, hey, I don't know how difficult this is to be, but if it's at all possible, I would love for this to be included. And he delivered. Can I talk to Barry? Nope. Does this game count as pixel art by today's standards? No. No, I don't think so. It's obviously, you know, it's clearly being rendered in pixels. We can see that because it's just so low resolution. But pixel art is an entirely different aesthetic rather than just how something is processed. I think so, personally, at least. It's low poly.
Wesker!
Wesker! Oh, no.
Help me look for him, Jill. And don't leave this hall for the time being.
There's no time to check it. Oh. I see. That's a fun little jump scare. You can absolutely get some crust by 1, writing down the resolution of your Viata 2 capture source, 2, filters, effect filters, scaling aspect ratio, 3, set scale filtering to point and resolution to a fraction of the source's resolution, and then scale the source back up. That sounds cool. I will have to play around with that. Send me a DM with that. Maybe I'll play around during break. Stream is going to be a little shorter today as well. Monday stream is going to be longer to compensate for that. Because I have got somewhere to be at 8 p.m. my time. So we're going to be going for another 2 hours. Which sucks because I did have a late start, but It's been a very busy week. No?
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Beats me, too.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it can't be helped. Let's search
It
for him
can't be
separately.
helped.
I'll check the dining room again.
Okay, I'll try the door on the opposite side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could get into trouble if we get lost. We should start from the first floor, okay? And Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Thanks. Maybe I'll need it.
A master of unlocking.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall. This time, I'll be there.
Her ass is crazy. What the hell? Did you see that? Sticking out as much as her torso was. What the hell? What is that stance? Alright. Can I save at this typewriter? Will you take the ink ribbon? Oh, no. So saves are limited. You can save your progress with this. Will you use the ink ribbon? Ooh. Interesting. Very interesting. Saves are a resource. Cool. Now that makes me wonder. That's a really good way to inflict tension on the player. Especially when assumedly if you die, you go back to your last save. This is, I mean, it's kind of like hardcore mode in Dead Space, except it's just the norm. I like that. One thing I'm noticing, or that could be an aspect going forward in the survival horror genre, is female protagonists seem to be very common. We had multiple female characters, female player characters in Sweet Home, and Clock Tower also featured a female main character, and a large female supporting cast, and a female main villain to some degree. And then now in this game, we have both Jill and Chris as playable characters. And even, following that forward in the genre to the modern day, Signalis, obviously a female main character, Crow Country, female main character, Silent Hill F, female main character. He's Kenneth from Star's Bravo team. He's become a mere shadow of his former self. I wouldn't say he's a shadow of his former self. I'd say he's fucking dead. His head is off of his body. Will you take the clip? Absolutely. Clip it in chat. Anything else on him? Multiple clips? Well, we can always come back for it, I assume. Good to know, though. He's seen better days. I don't think he'll be seeing any more. Alright. I missed the awesome start. It was pretty great, Hasaniko. You've used the lockpick. Ammo is a separate slot. Some of the ammo is stored in the gun. That seems to be pretty standard. There's both the ammo that you have in your gun and the ammo that you have in your pockets. I will say also, as with Clock Tower, I'm mostly going to be just, moving around and vibing, but I would like to get this done in 2 streams. So backseating is enabled for the most part. Obviously, at your discretion, make sure to, give me some time to just experience the game as it is. But, if I ask for help, you are free to give it to me. If I'm struggling, and in that case, you can hold square to run. I figured there would be a run button. Thank you for that. I'm kind of surprised at how, not bad the tank controls feel. Can I run backwards? I can't run backwards. Okay, cool. This painting of a woman does not need any comment. Oh, hello. I didn't see this here. Kind of thought the room ended. And controls have been so demonized. Well, I mean, they don't feel nearly as good as normal controls nowadays do, but they're not, like, atrocious or anything. Why can't I examine anything in this room? Is there anything in here? Or am I pressing the wrong button? Fine grand piano. That's the only thing that I can analyze here? I find that hard to believe. This is definitely something on the desk here. Can I... Oh, I can! Okay, cool. Ooh, something to keep in mind. What do we have here? Will you take the music notes? Anything else here? No? Okay. A fine grand piano. Let's use the music notes on him. It's Moonlight Sonata. I'm trying so hard not to have a boss baby moment right now. I'm trying so hard not to have a boss baby moment right now. I'm trying so hard. It's just like Signalis. It's just like Signalis. Will you take the gold emblem? Yes, I will. And then I put the wooden one in its place. Nice. A boss baby moment is it's based on a tweet that was I don't even if I'm remembering correctly, the tweet was like guy whose first and only movie was Boss Baby, guy who's only ever seen Boss Baby watching his second movie ever, getting some big Boss Baby vibes from this. I'm playing Resident Evil and I'm seeing all the after I've played so many games that inspired it or that were inspired by it. And now I'm sort of seeing how the sausage got made. And then I assume it's like the kids saying Kratos is from Fortnite. Got it? Kind of, yes. You got the general idea. Ooh. Very fun. This is something that I've always really enjoyed about survival horror games, is the contrast between the puzzle solving and the combat, especially because the combat is generally designed in such a way that you don't want to engage with it. Let's see, will you take the mansion key? It's really funny, Sweet Home's fan translators endeavor to insert the line Residents of Evil into the script. It is pretty cute, yeah. What was I saying? It's a weird thing to think about. How much I love the dynamic between the combat sections and the non-combat sections, and how generally in survival horror games there's like a very clear divide between those things. Mostly because the survival horror games that I have played before, or at least the ones that make up most of my genre experience, I'm thinking like the three big ones that I've played are Dead Space, Signalis, and Silent Hill F. And Dead Space and Silent Hill F both have a massive emphasis on combat. I think Dead Space does it largely to its benefit. It emphasizes the combat so that it leans more heavily into the action and has the eminent danger of combat be the resource strain that the game inflicts upon you, or be central to the resource strain that the game inflicts upon you in terms of your health and ammunition, and makes it so that mastery over those systems comes from mastering combat, of gaining precision, of learning enemy patterns and how to avoid them. And then Silent Hill F is not really... It's very non-traditional in terms of horror, and I think that the combat is largely to the detriment of the gameplay experience, even if it does serve a narrative purpose. The combat in Silent Hill F is... It's a mix between... It's really tedious. Is the only really... that's the only way that I can really say. It's very tedious, and I think it's meant to... It fails on both regards of either providing tension, because the combat isn't too difficult to, you know, feel that horror, and when you die, there's not enough punishment for that horror to be felt of like, oh no, it's going to be a strain on my resources, because in Silent Hill F, if you take too much damage, just die, and then reload from a save. You're not going to lose that much. But it also doesn't lean to the other end of the spectrum, where combat doesn't really provide you catharsis or satisfaction on the higher end of things, unfortunately. It doesn't... The system itself isn't complicated enough to feel good to master in the way that other combat systems do. And so it sort of fails on both ends with its combat, which is rough because it's a very combat-heavy game. Silent Hill F is a game that I like narratively, but as a gameplay experience, it is constantly just stepping on its own feet at all times. It is very, very, very awkward and misguided in a lot of ways. It feels like a video game that could not account for the scope of the story attempting to be told. So the only real survival horror game I've played that has that strict balance between combat and puzzle solving is Signalis. So I'm really excited to, you know, play more games that have that you know, strict delineation between the two. I don't think I've ever played a survival horror game. Come to think of it, would the Little Nightmare games, the more recent Reanimal count? Are they just horror ambience horror? I don't know. A lot of what I want to do with this marathon is I want to examine what it is that differentiates the survival horror genre from other horror genres, and it's, you know, it's contemporaries in the medium, right? And largely the things that I've found that help to differentiate survival horror from just a normal survival game or a horror game is, obviously, an aesthetic of horror is required. It needs to be a horror-styled game for it to be survival horror, right? And when I say horror, this is a big sticking point that I'm probably going to say this every single stream. I take umbrage with the idea that horror games need to be scary. I think that viewing horror purely as something which must inflict fear on the player and something that must scare the player is an extremely limiting mindset to have with a very expansive genre classification. I think that horror is a large mix of things. If it was meant to be a scary game, it wouldn't be horror, it would be scary. Scary survival. It's not meant to be scary. Can it scare you? Yes, it's meant to inflict horror. Did someone say expand? No way! The Merrick Bentusi? Hey, good to see you, man. Glad you're here. Resource management. So, a horror aesthetic and a focus on inflicting tension through gameplay. Horror is mainly atmosphere, I know. Yeah, so a horror aesthetic and atmosphere, and generally mechanics which are designed to inflict tension, which could lead to fear, anxiety, all sorts of negative emotions. And the big one that I'm leaning on that delineates survival horror, you know, what makes it survival horror, is some form of resource management. And largely what I'm looking at in this marathon is, what do developers consider to be a resource that the player must manage? And how do they use those resources to inflict horror on the player? Is there a horror game that is not survival horror? Outlast comes to mind. I wouldn't call Outlast a survival horror game by any means. I would say Outlast is a horror game in that there's a lot of running and hiding, but there is no resource management. You don't have to, you know, keep track of your health. Largely, you are just trying to get away from the thing without having any ammunition or other resources to control as you navigate through the world. Slenderman could also be considered one, yeah. In Slenderman, you're just largely trying to find, you know, you're just trying to find the pages, and there's not any other resource to manage there. There's a touch of resource management with the batteries, but yeah, it's not enough resource management or of an emphasis on resource management that I would consider. I think inventory management would also be pretty key. I'm trying to think of what exceptions to that might be, and I would say that Five Nights at Freddy's is a bit of a difficult one when it comes to my classifications, because I'm looking at the idea that it is horror combined with resource management, and I'm looking at Five Nights at Freddy's, and it is horror combined with resource management. You know, you have your power, and the objective is to manage that resource until the end of the night. But for some reason, it's not passing the vibe check. You know? Batteries are more a way the game used to put pressure on you. Same for FNAF. Well, no, because in Five Nights at Freddy's, if you run out of resources, you're done for. RPG Maker horror games? I think RPG Maker horror games are a wide category that I wouldn't feel comfortable just unanimously saying yes or no. It would have to depend on, you know, whether some hallmarks of the genre are present, right? But when I'm looking at genre, I don't generally like to be exclusive in the way. I think the correct terms that I'm looking for in terms of genre are descriptive versus prescriptive. And descriptive would be something like saying survival horror is this, and this, and if it doesn't have those things, it's not survival horror, right? And looking at the genre as a list of classifications, and if it does not meet those classifications, then it does not fit into the genre. That's nice for putting things in a lot of different little boxes, right? And for organizing and cataloging things. But I like to take a more prescriptive approach, which is to say, survival horror is something that I experience rather than a strict list of categories. I feel like I'm not describing... The general idea is, rather than saying this is survival horror and that is it, I want to look at this more like, is this survival horror? And if so, what does that mean for the game? Does it, you know, how does that affect my perception and experience of the game, rather than viewing it just as a does it fit into this box type of situation? It's if it fits into this box, what does that mean? Right? What do you think about jump scares? I don't think they alone make horror. However, the tension and atmosphere surrounding them are effective in a way that actually adds to the jump scare that it can be. I think jump scares are definitely indicative of a horror genre. They're a very typical inclusion when the objective is to scare the player. In fact, I think they're probably one of the only consistent ways to scare the player, because fear is such a nebulous kind of concept in general. Is going to get pizza at 2 a.m. survival horror? It really depends on where you live and where you're ordering from. So, yeah, anyway, that's a lot of words to say that I'm excited to play this game and we're on limited time, so I need to get the fuck going. Can we go up the stairs? We can go up the stairs, but they're considered a door. How do I describe this game in a few words to someone who's never heard of it? That's how I look at a genre. Yeah. Damn. Taking 2 steps at a time. I once did a walk at 4 a.m. when it was very foggy and it was very Silent Hill. I like when it's foggy as long as I'm not behind the wheel of a car, personally. How many RE games are you going to be playing? I'm planning on playing just Resident Evil 1 and the Resident Evil 2 remake. I'm trying to get a wide spread of a bunch of different games throughout the month, just so we have a large palette to pull from to see what a bunch of different people do when working within this genre, or looking at games that generally are viewed as part of this genre. So the only Resident Evil games I have are 1 and 2 remake. Oh, this blood isn't from my teammates. Oh, hey, Barry. Jesus.
Jill! Don't scare me.
That's what I was going to say. Aren't you supposed to be going over the first floor, Barry?
Yeah, you're right. But just take a look at this.
Take a look at this.
It's Forrest. Oh my God.
Forrest, no!
It's awful.
Oh no.
I'm going to find out what caused Forrest's death. It looks like he was killed by a crow or something.
By a crow? By
Can
a
you look around the
crow.
first floor, Jill?
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Jill. This must have been Forrest's. You don't have a weapon. Take this with you.
I have multiple weapons. The bazooka. I kid you not, I thought they were surprised that they were surrounded by a massive forest. These are random people living in Japan for the VAs, right? Were they? That'd be really cool if so. That'd be fun. That is not a bazooka. Let's take a look at it. Let's check it out. Explosive R loaded. I see. Let's check on the mansion key. I think they mean grenade launcher. I think so. A carving of a shield. Ooh. Nothing important. Oh, so the angle that you examine it from does matter. Cool. Have you fired your pistol once? I have not. You know what? Let's get it out. Why not? You know? How does she aim and fire it? Okay. R to aim. Oh! Interesting. I hadn't considered that I would be able to aim lower and higher. That's a little concerning. But good to know. Someone asked earlier also, would Scooby-Doo be considered horror? And I don't know, honestly. I think horror is largely to do with tone and intent. And let me tell you, as an English major, there is nothing more impossible to objectively find than authorial intent. There's nothing more nebulous that you could possibly base an observation off of than authorial intent outside of the Word of God. So is Scooby-Doo horror? Kinda, yeah. It's horror comedy, a little. Oh. Oh, I can push it. I wasn't expecting. Oh, okay. Well, let's just get the hell up out of Dodge. Was not expecting to be able to push that. Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we guide this guy all the way around. How do I reload? Do I have to reload in the menu? I guess we'll figure it out. Let's pull this guy around. Could I shoot that? Yes, does nothing. All right, play a little ring around the rosy. I know there's some way to view controls. File, perhaps? Alright, now that he's all the way over there, another dog-related cartoon, Courage the Cowardly Dog, is comedy horror. Yeah, I would say, that's the thing, if I'm looking at Courage the Cowardly Dog, that's definitely horror media. For sure. Alright, we'll go check that out in a bit. And there's a door over there by the zombie. How do I reload? Not sure. Alright. Cool, and if I'm remembering correctly, or at least if I'm intuiting correctly based on other games that I've played, that zombie is not dead for good. That zombie is just down for the count currently. And if I come back to that room later, he might be alive again. Oh, okay. Let me just squeeze on past you real quick. Don't mind if I do. Oh, let me just get right by you. There are a lot of them here. It's locked. A carving of a helmet. A numeric key panel. You don't know the pass number. You don't know that! It's almost comedic how bad the AI is on these zombies. It does make navigating it a little bit fun. Oh. Okay, well, let me just squeeze on by you real quick. Sorry, don't mind me. It's locked. Carving of armor. And then we'll go right on out. Make it a little circuit. Wow, there are a lot of you guys, huh? Okay, well, I don't want to go down this way just yet. So I'm gonna... Oh! Do I... Okay. Okay. Not doing great there. It looks like you mash A to get out of that. In danger. Let's use this real quick. Fine. You've used the lockpick. Oh, does Jill just have a lockpick? That's not a resource? She just has a lockpick. Or did I use my last one automatically? Because I remembered oh no, I had the health spray there before. Nothing special. Imagine reusing a lockpick. I know, what the hell? Is that allowed? None of them looks useful. Here. Will you take the clip? You know what? Fine. Oh, it stacks! I didn't know. Good to know. Is there anything else in this room? Nothing special. Something tells me that might be important somewhere else. There is something else in this room. I'm gonna open that in just a bit because there might be a zombie in there. Well, son of a bitch. We take these shells. We'll leave those there for now. We know where they are. Alright, let's try that again. Keeper's Diary. May 9th, 1998. At night, we played poker with Scott the Guard, Alias, and Steve the Researcher. Steve was really lucky, but I think he was cheating. What a scumbag. May 10th. Today, a high-ranking researcher asked me to take care of a new monster. Looks like a gorilla without any skin. Told me to feed them live food. When I threw in a pig, they were playing with it, tearing off the pig's legs and pulling out the guts before they actually ate it. May 11th. Around 5 o'clock this morning, Scott came in and woke me up suddenly. He was wearing a protection suit that looks like a spacesuit. Told me to put one on as well. I heard there was an accident in the basement lab. It's no wonder those researchers never rest, even at night. Your model looks so good for this. Oh my, right? Maddie did an excellent job. It was, after all, directly based on the models from Resident Evil 1. Or at least the concept art for Resident Evil 1. May 12th. I've been wearing this annoying spacesuit since yesterday. My skin grows musty and feels itchy. By way of revenge, I didn't feed those dogs today. Now I feel better. I went to the... I wonder if that's... if we can get, like... maybe the dogs are just like that because they haven't been fed? So if we find, like, meat, we can throw it to pacify them? May 13th. I went to the medical room because my back is all swollen and feels itchy. They put a big bandage on my back, and the doctor told me I did not need to wear the spacesuit anymore. I guess I can sleep well tonight. When I woke up this morning, I found another blister on my foot. It was annoying, and I ended up dragging my foot as I went to the dog's pen. I've been quiet since morning, which is very unusual. Found that some of them had escaped. I'll be in real trouble if the higher-ups find out. Even though I didn't feel well, I decided to go see Nancy. It's my first day off in a long time. But I was stopped by the guard on the way out. They say the company has ordered that no one leave the grounds. I can't even make a phone call. What kind of joke is this? May 16th. I heard a researcher who tried to escape from the mansion was shot last night. My entire body feels burning and itchy at night. When I was scratching the swelling on my arm, a lump of rotten flesh dropped off. What the hell is happening? A lump of rotten flesh! May 19th. Fever gone but itchy. Hungry and eat doggy food. Itchy, itchy Scott came. Ugly face so killed him. Tasty. Itchy. Tasty. Keeper's Diary has been filed. Uh-oh. I want to say this is one of the most famous documents in gaming history, period. That's crazy. That's a very bold statement. Okay. Over this way. I assume if I don't run, I won't attract their attention. You unlocked it. With what? Also, the lockpick is a major resource management difference between Chris and Jill. Interesting. So is Chris, like, hard mode, kind of? In a way? I assume he has to find, like, spare keys for every room, or can he just not get into the rooms that require lockpicks that Jill has? See? Will you take the... That's a fucking Chaos Emerald! Chris has less inventory and needs to find small keys. Interesting. Alright. Now I'm running into the question of... But Itchy Tasty will see references to this day. Ooh. Chris's hard mode, he has a completely different route and story with different puzzles. Very fun. That's one of the things that I find really interesting about, early survival horror games. I think we're good to put this away, so let me just... If I hit equip when I already have it equipped, does that put it away? It sure does. We're good to go. One of the things that I find really interesting about earlier survival horror games, and that I think is generally something to do with like hardware limitations, or could be influenced by hardware limitations, is it feels like a lot of older games were designed to be short with heavy replayability in mind. And that's really interesting when it comes to survival horror games, because you end up having, you know, multiple endings as a way to incentivize replayability. You're sort of encouraged to find ways to see everything there is in the game. Like, completionism used to be something that the game was designed for, rather than a kind of obligation, in a sense. Not to say that, like, completing games isn't worthwhile nowadays. As someone who is very, like, a compulsive completionist in many ways, I I love completing games. I love seeing everything there is to see in a game. But it feels like with a lot of older games and shorter games, they're designed with that replayability and completion as a means of properly engaging with the game, rather than it being a way of going above and beyond. If anything, let's see. When you replay, does it not take away from the horror element? This is actually something that I think is really interesting about the survival horror genre. Yes, it does take away from the horror element. However, replaying the game and mastering the systems is the resolution of the horror aspect of the game, right? When you replay the game and you see everything there is to see in the game, and you become a master of navigating through it and managing your resources effectively, that is not a flaw, that is a feature. That is you surviving properly. And your reward for doing so is the ability to navigate without taking damage and maximizing your efficiency and overcoming the horror of the situation. That sort of disempowerment leading to empowerment is, I believe, core to what makes survival horror work. Right? And I think that's another key vector that we can look at to determine whether something is survival horror or not. Does the gameplay have an element of mastery over it? Replaying is pretty optional, though. Definitely optional, yeah, 100%. However, is it encouraged by the game? Is something that I'm really interested in. I'd say there are a lot of games that I've 100%ed where replaying is by no means encouraged, right? And it becomes really kind of annoying, and it gets in the way of trying to 100% it. Like, if you've ever 100%ed a Dark Souls game, that is a game that almost feels like it has 100% completion as a byproduct of being finite, right? Does that make sense? There's a difference between a game which can be 100%ed because there is an end to the content that is available, and then a game that can be 100%ed because you are in some way encouraged or incentivized to see everything there is in the game. It's not like Nier where you have to replay it to get the real ending, real experience, so I don't think replaying is core to these games. I don't know, actually, because there are, to my understanding, true endings in survival horror games. So, is replaying necessary if you want to know what the real ending is? Not necessarily, because you could get a perfectly satisfactory ending on your first run through. You could even get the true ending on your first run through. But I think the idea with a lot of multiple endings in survival horror games is that there are bad endings. There are endings that are less optimal. There are endings that leave questions to be answered. And multiple endings and replayability are meant to fill those gaps, in a sense. Picture, nothing unusual. Hey, I remember this! I remember this from the demo preview. I was not expecting, like, environment manipulation. You got a map of the first floor? Ooh. That's cool. Interesting. One thing I want to add is how many of these route/endings involve auxiliary NPC character survival. Yeah. Especially when you're dealing, I mean, it would have to be, but when you're dealing with a game that has an ensemble cast like Resident Evil, that's usually a way of tying them into the rest of what's going on in the game, is to make you responsible for their survival as well. What's in here? I say a game that makes the first playthrough include enough rematches against your first challenge is a better way to go about it, but I don't fund game devs. Okay, he's gonna come alive for sure. Yeah, I knew that. Oh my god! Various pictures. What happens if I equip the knife. Is the knife meant to be my guaranteed way of dealing with combat in a sense? Ink ribbon. I will take that. 2 of them. Nice. Okay. And we will save next time we go through the foyer. Foyer? Cool. So this is just a little optional side area to give you an ink ribbon. Honestly, considering that saves are a limited resource in this game, using them as a, you know, secret is very valuable, I would say. You've used the lockpick. Okay, so yeah, Jill having a lockpick opens quite a lot of doors for you, but metaphorically and literally, in that sense. Creepy stuff. Thank you, Jill. Very salient commentary. More creepy, of course, naturally. Resident Evil game, survival horror games love to fuck with you, fake outs, misdirection, baiting you with items like a zombie that you know is gonna come. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Wow, I might be fucking Jesus. All right. Just live Jill reaction. Oh, we're not doing too hot, huh? But there we go. Let's make sure we got this on us, huh? We're strapped. And she just does her little pose. Alright. Let's see what we're working with here. That's rough. No pun intended. We're hopefully gonna have to... Oh, hold on. There was another room there. Hopefully, unless that's just a gap between rooms, hopefully we can find a way back to that main room, because I did want to save. It's locked. A carving of armor. Okay, so once we get that key, assumedly we'll be able to do quite a lot. Shield key. Thinking about the replayability aspect more, I'm wondering about games like Until Dawn or other anthology games, but I never saw them as survival horror. Yeah, I don't think I would consider something like Until Dawn to be survival horror either. Even though it would maybe be more non-traditional in... Is that curtain drawn? Okay. Even though it could definitely be something more non-traditional in the sense of, like, considering the characters themselves to be resources. So I have to wonder, does there need to be maybe an active or action element to the gameplay for it to be considered proper survival horror? Mirror effect is very fun there, yeah. Okay. Considering how it'd have to be implemented. Yeah, they just load in another Jill on the opposite side there. Does survival horror need to be scary? No. That is one of the biggest things that I believe going into this marathon is a strict belief that horror does not need to be scary, and that necessitating it or viewing that as essential to the genre as a whole is extremely limiting and reductive. This looks like the kind of room that, like, turns into a spike trap. Tapestry. Nothing unusual. Shotgun? That seems pretty good. Although our inventory will be full. Is there somewhere that we can stow items? Huh. That locked the door, didn't it? Ooh, I remember something like this in Resident Evil 7 really early on. An urn with a beautiful picture on it. Nothing unusual. Okay, so I need to find something to replace the shotgun with if I want to take it out of this room. Horror makes an attempt at being scary, off-putting, gory, unsettling, dark, etc. It doesn't mean it has to scare you when you play it. Yes, that's definitely... I agree with that, generally speaking. My problem comes with the idea that if it fails to do one of those things, then it is not part of the genre. Does that make sense? I have a problem with that kind of perspective in terms of genres. That there are disqualifying elements in some ways based on personal experience. I think that if you are trying to make genre classifications, then they should be to some... Well, do I believe that they need to be objective in some way? Because that feels like it's leaning more into descriptive than prescriptive. I need to research my terms a little bit more. I'm kind of just going based on vibes. I don't know. A lot of this is just coming from a perspective on how I'm interacting with and engaging with Joe's perspective on Soma. That's one of the big things that made me think about this. Because for him, because Soma did not scare him, he doesn't consider it to be a horror game. Right? Or, you know, it's a myriad of factors, but that was the largest one. He doesn't think that horror works in video games because of the lack of consequences inherent to the genre, or inherent to the medium, rather. When fail states are not that punishing, horror is lessened. And if the horror is lessened, then it's not scary, and it ceases to be horror, right? And that is... It's an argument that makes sense, but it's not an argument that I agree with. Does that make sense? I think the idea that you didn't feel something, therefore it doesn't apply. I don't know. I'm trying to find the correct way of putting my thoughts into feelings, but it's largely just based around the central idea to me that horror does not need to be scary. It is not a prerequisite for the genre that it needs to be scary. It is more a culmination of tone and atmosphere and aesthetics than the end result. I don't think it works that way with adjacent genres like action, thriller, or mystery, though, right? Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know. If I find Life is Strange 2 so bad that it's funny, I can call it a comedy game, for example. Well, here's the thing. I think that's largely the difference between a more prescriptive view and a descriptive view. If we're looking at Life is Strange 2, no, it's not a comedy game. It's attempting to be very... Oh man, am I taking a more descriptive stance then? I really need to research my terms better, huh? I do. I need to research these terms a lot better if I'm going to be using them actively. But, Sorry, I'm a little stopped in my tracks. Anyway, Life is Strange 2, if we're looking at it, is not attempting to be a comedy game. So I guess the question is, can you call it a comedy game? I don't think anything is really stopping you, but I don't think it would be a very accurate descriptor. And if you were trying to recommend it to someone else, I don't think that it would be a very meaningful description of the game. But if you're viewing it as a comedy game, what do you get from it? How does that change the experience? I'm torn between those two perspectives, I think. Because on one hand, I do like to have classifications which are largely objective. I like when the information that I am conveying is provable and I have evidence to back it up. But on the other hand, I'm also very interested in the perspective of if I am going through this or going over this with a specific lens, regardless of whether that lens is objective, how does that affect my interpretation, right? the subjectivity of experience is something that's also very important to me. The idea that multiple people can look at the same thing and extract many different truths from that thing is something that fascinates me greatly. It's largely why I love writing and English as a discipline so much. And so there's sort of this war in my mind between, when it comes to genre, because I largely view it as something that is a classification and therefore should be objective. But if we're taking a more subjective stance on it, how does viewing something as X genre affect your interpretation of it? That's something that I'm also really interested by. Well, I guess largely it just comes down to the point of order with any given essay or any given argument in regards to anything, which is, do you have sufficient evidence to prove your stance, right? To determine whether it is a valid perspective on the game. And validity does not mean that something can be... There are degrees of correctness when it comes to validity, and it is based on the amount of evidence that you are able to provide in favor of your argument. I'm getting really, really in the weeds here to try and because you've raised a really interesting question, Efroland. I think it's really, really interesting to look at Life is Strange 2 and to ask, can I view it as a comedy game? Right? Because my gut reflex is to say yes and no at the same time. Because no, it's clearly not trying to be a comedy game, but there's nothing stopping you from doing so. I don't know. In my experience, these boxes we use exist only to communicate with others in a very metaphysical sense. Oh, absolutely. Genre doesn't exist. Language is a means to an end, right? And any classifications therein are shorthand for entire conversations that we could be having, right? When we talk about things fitting into a genre, we are not saying this is what it is exactly this. We are using that as a general descriptor to give you an idea of what is being communicated. The horror genre is not a strict list of things that must be included, or it is not this. It is an idea meant to communicate a feeling, right? Or to communicate a set number of aspects. It is not a checklist, it is a mood board. Does that make sense? So when I talk about the genre of horror or survival horror having these ideas of resource management, of a horror aesthetic, of health, of needing some form of combat, it's not a question of these things must be included or it is not survival horror. It is more the idea of these are things which generally indicate that it belongs to this genre, and then this word can be used to communicate that it generally has these things. So even genre isn't necessarily an objective term. It is more so useful shorthand for communicating ideas. I would say it's a descriptivist method that still requires some degree of consensus to use. I can't say flapjack means fire just because I, as a singular person, use it that way. Language requires successful communication to exist. That's a really interesting way to frame it. It requires successful communication to exist. If we wanted to get semantic, we could say what counts as successful communication. But successful communication to me would just be the intended message is received, right? I think that's a pretty applicable, or at least relatively coherent definition of successful communication. The intended message is received. I don't know. These things are fun to think about. I like them. I like them more when the conversation is constructive rather than exclusive. I like to view genre in the sense of, if we consider this to be part of it, how does it deviate from the norms? How does it align with them? And what can we say about the game and others like it using this as a reference point? I do not like when a conversation of genre is this game survival horror? It doesn't have this. No, it's not survival horror. Next game. Right? I really don't like that conversation. That's something that I really actively dislike. And that's something that, I'm gonna honestly put the gun away because we're doing a bit more. I'm not in combat with anything right now, even though I do have the gun. A good example. When I was reading Umineko with Joe, one of my largest points of reference and the perspective that I took for a large portion of my reading was, is Umineko a feminist text? And so I was viewing it largely through the lens of feminist literature, right? Now, that's not a question of when Ryakishi wrote this, did he intend for it to be a feminist text? Was he writing a piece of feminist literature, right? And there is not a strict yes or no answer to that question, because that's not the question that I'm asking. The question that's being asked in that moment is not, is this feminist literature? The question is, if this is feminist literature, what can we learn from the text? What can we pull from the text through this lens, and how can we discuss that, and how does it enrich our understanding of the text, right? It's not a binary yes, no, done. It is a more thorough examination, and how that examination broadens our perspective, right? I could pass it, be it intentional or unintentional. Now you really sound like an English teacher. Joe would hate it. Yeah, I was thinking that, like, it's... I mean, listen, I have to use my degree for something, right? And if I'm going to use my degree for anything, I think it should be essentially espousing the ideas of what I believe I got out of my degree. One of the, sure, I'm not going to get hired because I have a bachelor's in English literature, all right? That's not going to be the deciding factor, like, oh, wow, yeah, this guy can stock shelves better because he understands the essence of the human soul when he read Mark Twain 5 years ago, right? That's not a deciding factor. What my degree got me is a set of tools for engaging with the world around me, right? It allowed me access to means to broaden my perspective and to understand the things that I engage with on a deeper level, right? It taught me ways of being. And that is something that I will carry with me through everything I do for the rest of my life. And so when it comes to discussing the things that I love being able to spread those ways of being and those ways of looking at the medium and analyzing them to other people, and to use that as a point of reference to discuss them with others. One of the things, dare I say, the thing that I love most about art is that it is subjective. I love that every single person in the world can look at a painting and think something different, can play a game and think something different, can read a book, watch a movie, anything, engage with art in any way, shape, form, or medium, and think something different because of their own lived experiences. I love that aspect of it because it allows people to share those perspectives and to enrich their own mutual understanding of the world as a result. When I share my perspective on something and you share yours back, both of us are growing through that experience. We are both allowing ourselves insights into a world which previously we could possibly have no idea that it existed. I'm going full Umineko on this. Let me just shut the fuck up. Tell me to just next time this happens, tell me just put the fucking game in the bag, all right? Just put the game in the bag. We're playing video games. I've been in this hallway for too long. Just shut up and put the playthrough in the VOD. Oh, okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right. That's not good. That's not good. Can we go in here? You unlocked it? Get in. I just like discussing things. I think that's fun. I thought this was exactly the thing that made you go, I love doing this at the end of the last horror game. Well, yes, it is, but, like, I'm getting real bogged down in it, you know? I love doing it, but I also need to make sure that I finish this game in 2 streams, because we've got a very strict schedule I need to adhere to. Oh shit, a save room, nice. And a storage room, perfect, okay. Really good. We will put... Let's see. I like you liking discussing things, it's fun. Let's put the blue jewel in there. Oh, it already has stuff in there. Oh, there's limited space inside of this as well. Huh. We're gonna put the bazooka in there, because I don't foresee us using that anytime soon. And then I think we're gonna exit... What is this? Will you take the chemical? Yes. And then if I'm remembering correctly, I combine the chemical with the herb to make healing spray. Right? No? Let's see. Then what are you trying to get out of this month? A strict playthrough schedule or passionate yapping? Discuss? A breadth of experiences in a short amount of time. A chemical to kill the weeds. Okay, well, I probably don't use that on the herb. And then is there anything else here? Gardening tools. Nothing useful. How do I take something... Oh, I have to use an empty inventory slot. Can I combine clips? I can! Oh, okay, so it can hold quite a lot in a single slot. Can I... How much... What's the max on that? Can I take this clip as well? Wow, okay, you can put quite a lot of ammo in there. Wonder if I would have listened to my English teacher more if she was a popcorn bag PNG tuber at midnight. Well, decided to take a shower. How's the Evil of Resonance going? You haven't missed much. We took probably like a 20-minute intermission to discuss terms of engagement. Save your progress at this. Will you use the ink ribbon? Yes. Checking memory cards. M storeroom 1F. Anyway, one of the problems with English class, the bold impact font, Rantsona posing with one hand on hip, looking incredulously at the thumbnail, at the viewer. One of the problem with English class is that it's happening under a very strict time limit, and no one really knows what they're doing, and no one has an expectation of what should be done. Outside of meeting a set criteria to prepare you for a test. Let's It's locked. Carving of armor. What's going on the screen? Is something happening? Someone go to Umberto Eco on the line. It's education system critiques. Yeah. Yeah. Wouldn't you know it? The system's kind of fucked, and there aren't a lot of incentives to unfuck it. Can I combine herbs together? Will you mix the herbs? Yes. Mixed herbs. It's a mixture of 2 green herbs. Okay. Wood is put in the stove. A paper is on the wall. It's locked. Carving of a helmet. The issue is English is my second language, so I guess it would be more appropriate to say my German classes, but I get what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. The way the items fly into the camera cracks me up. It's very charming. I love it quite a lot. Okay, so that's locked. Oh. Zombie's gone. Yep, let's just back away. Can I get past you? I can try. I sure can! You unlocked it? Off we go. I'm kind of split on it. I like being able to see text from various perspectives and recognize beauty in intentional constructions. But it's such a... Oh, I'm going to pause so I can read it. But it's such a fine line on feeling like a used car salesman being able to spin any story on the spot. Well, yeah, the difference between bullshit and proper interpretation is evidence. Right? The thing is, you are free to believe or not believe any interpretation of the text. Right? There is no right or... There is no strict right or wrong way to view a text. I don't... Well... How can I phrase it? A good lawyer can pick and choose the right evidence. Yes, absolutely, yeah. However, I would say a good prosecutor would be able to pick the right counter evidence as well. Effective interpretation of text requires not only strong argumentation, but strong counter-argumentation as well. In order to have a good point, you need to be able to properly address multiple ways in which it could be a bad point, right? It is not enough to prove that you are right. You must also prove that you are not wrong, right? When you have that sort of back and forth, then it's something else. Yes, yeah. That is largely my perspective on interpreting text. Evidence is king. Evidence within the text, strongest of all. Evidence outside the text, effective but weaker than first-hand information. Just like a second-hand source is less effective than a first-hand account, right? But to me, it was always hammered into my head when I was learning English. Part of any essay whatsoever, regardless of what you are arguing about, is your counter-argument. It is never enough to simply have a point and be correct. You can argue at any point effectively if you pick your evidence strong enough. However, you must also disprove the negative. It is not enough to be correct. You must also prove that you are not incorrect from other perspectives, right? So the difference in the validity of one interpretation of the text versus another interpretation of the text is how much evidence you have for it and how much evidence you have disproving the contrary, right? We were taught we can basically write anything as long as we have evidence for it. Yeah, and that's, strictly speaking, not necessarily an incorrect argument. It is a weaker argument, but it is not incorrect. Largely, why English is taught in the sense of teaching students to find an argument at all and prove their argument is not so much because that is the objectively correct way of engaging with the text, but it is largely to teach you ways of engagement. That's the most difficult thing in the world to try and recontextualize with education. It is English isn't designed to teach you how to read a book. That's not the point. The point of English class and the point of writing essays is not to teach you how to read a book. Because chances are you're going to go into the next stage of your life and you won't read any books. But you probably will watch the news, read the newspaper, watch a movie, watch a TV show, play a game. Anything that might require some level of ability to engage with a text and think critically about its meaning and validity. Right? So the objective of an English class and the lessons you learn therein are not how to read, but how to understand. Right? And it's a very difficult thing to teach someone that. So you need to hide the medicine in the peanut butter. The peanut butter being strict curriculum requirements that are designed not for education, but for passing tests. I did not learn critical reading from my English classes, and that doesn't feel at all like what they were trying to teach. Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is largely an ideal as well. That's another thing to really consider is what I'm saying is my personal perspective on what I believe the education system should be for. Right? Not what it is for. And that's also with the perspective of coming from AP English classes, where rather than just the standard track, I went into the advanced track, which is going to teach you larger swaths of how to critically analyze text, and how I apply that in my life going forward. And also I have an English degree, and I have a teaching degree in English. Like, this is a very advanced perspective on what an English class is and the skills that it teaches you from someone who learned to teach them, right? I'm not so much preaching to the choir as I am up there on the stand myself as part of the choir. The choir is preaching to you in this case. Except now people are just eating the peanut butter by getting AI to write paper for them. Yep. Yeah. Correct. Let me once again state, I agree. That is not an invitation for AI discussion. That is strictly prohibited on my channel, because fuck that, I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, botany books about medicinal herbs. As you may know, there are many plants that have medical effects. Since ancient times, humans have been healing wounds and diseases using various plants. In this book, we're going to sample 3 herbs that grow around the Raccoon Mountains and give their outlines as examples of those plants with medical properties. Each herb has different colors and different effects as medical plants. The green one recovers physical strength, the blue one neutralizes natural toxins, while the red herb does not have any effect by itself. The red herb is only effective when it is mixed with other herbs. For example, if you mix this herb with that herb that recovers physical strength, the recovery effect will be tripled. By adjusting the amount and experimenting with these 3 herbs, you can create various kinds of medicines, but I'll leave the details in your hands, because that's the best way to acquire true knowledge. Botany book has been filed. Cool. Mind that. Put it away. We're good to go. Nothing uncommon. Nothing uncommon. Nothing unusual. I don't know, Mr. Author. I don't think random people should experiment with herbs at home. I mean, it wasn't even legal back then, was it? You unlocked it. Botany book that was a paragraph, respectfully. I mean, I'm sure we're just skimming, you know. Oh shit. Okay. Is the game paused? Okay. Well, I know that they can't. Can they? Can he come down the stairs? I don't think they can come up or down the stairs. So this is a safe spot. Cool. All right. Just wanted to make sure, just in case. Herbs free from bush. We don't have a second floor map, do we? So hold on a minute. So what if I go up the steps now? Am I just gonna instantly get grabbed? Almost. Holy shit. Very scary. Listen to any cool new music lately? Not really, no. I've mostly been listening to the same stuff I always do. A lot of, Top House, Crane Wives, that sort of stuff. So I went that way first, so I should try and get a little further down the hallway. In which case, I would like to... 4 bullets to safely navigate this room. Yeah, sure, we'll go for it. Why not? I'm gonna wait for him to come into frame. Oh! That was more than I was expecting. The game I wanted to bring up during a resource management chat earlier is the spin-off Resident Evil Outbreak, which has 10 mini Resident Evil 1 style scenarios, but was made with 4 players online in mind on the PS2. The rub is that you only had 4 item slots and a special, a gun, herb, a lucky coin. Now granted, I played that in age 11, but it's the scariest Resident Evil has ever been to me. Co-op does add a unique element of fear to a horror experience, I think. In a lot of ways, it lessens the fear because you have multiple people. You know, you have people there to experience it with you. But the oh, is that because I got grabbed from behind? Damn, you died. Does that take you back to the main menu? It does. Very punishing. Okay. Resident Evil. Off we go. You have once again entered the world of survival horror. Good luck. And again, there's, you know, game using those terms. You also had no mic communication. You had to hit the hit right stick to communicate via canned messages. Ooh. That sounds really fun. I can definitely see, like, it's co-op, but it's very isolating in a sense, and having to balance your own and your entire squad's resources at the same time sounds like it would be quite a feat. Like, I'm trying to imagine playing Left 4 Dead 2 without any mic communication. That would be a hell of a thing. Oh. Can't go in there. I think this is where the herb was, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I have a feeling that Left 4 Dead 2 is probably going to become a much scarier experience for me. Or did I say Resident Evil? Left 4 Dead 2 is going to become a much scarier experience for me, playing solo. Because, like, you know, you can just fucking die like that in Left 4 Dead 2. You gotta be really on your guard a lot of the time. And there's a lot of different, very unique, very strict audio cues. That you need to be, you know, you gotta have your head on a swivel at all times to make sure you're looking out for them. The doorknob is broken. That sucks. That sucked quite a lot. That was very rough. Alright, we go this way first. Grab the botany book again, just because I'll be a little annoyed if I don't have it. Keep thinking that's a Steam notification whenever that pops up. Alright. Actually, you know what? We'll take this moment to take a quick break. Stretch, because we're only going to be going for another about hour and a half, or hour 40 just about. So we're at the halfway point of the stream because I got a strict 8 p.m. deadline for me. So I'm just going to say it's something Steam. Yeah, right. So take a quick break. There's a mod in chat. Get that scram bet rolling. Or you know what? I'll just do it myself. / prediction. Get that scram bet up. Start prediction. Ran 5-minute submission. Start prediction. There we go. Alright. 5-minute break. See you then. Get some water, stretch, get a snack, all that jazz. See you in a few. I'm back. Hello. Get those scran bets rolling. Of course, we're gonna go for Chandel as well. No capture? That is not right. There it is. All right. Nice. All right, of course. Gotta go for the Saito Gambit. And it appears to have borne fruit. It is Persona 3, less than 9. So naturally, go for Crystal next. It's not Crystal, more than 1. Okay, so it's not going to be... It's not going to be the bed trio. It is... okay. Shirley Crane-chan. Less than 9 on Crane-chan? I don't think so. Are we including characters? Is I just an option? Nope. Okay. I think Crane-chan... I mean, we'll try it. I feel like Crane-chan would have way more. Yeah. Way more. Way more than 9. Okay. Let's see here. Is it Anne Shadow? She has 2, I think? More than 2. Okay. So between 3 and 8 fan arts. From Persona 3, not Saito. From Persona 3. What was the popular Chan during Persona 3? Is it Collapse Chan? No. Huh. So between 5 and 8. From Persona 3. What the hell? Who is this? A semi-popular Chan during Persona 3. Trying to like search through my fucking mental databases. At least 5 fan arts. Do we have an artist? Let's see. We've done 5 guesses. 2025. First chanified by C8. I should definitely know this one then. Is this Blanket Fort Chan? No, she was Umineko. Chanified by C8? During Persona 3, at least 5 fan arts. Brown Cow Chan! God damn it. God damn, I should have known this one! I love Brown Cow Chan! I drew her! This is mine! Oh, because we're counting any instance of Brown Cow as Brown Cow Chan as well. It's peak. I love this design so much. I need to draw her again sometime. I love, 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 love everything about this. The angle is awesome. The colors are awesome. Beautiful. The hair over the eyes, lovely. Need to draw her again. Alright. And then we want Scrandle. The main event. Can't believe someone made a plush. It's very cute. Can we choose it? I certainly think we scran. Let's get to it. Alright, for those who scran after, bacon cheeseburger with chips or the O-Nuts? Not now, controller. Oh no, are you gonna have to disconnect and reconnect now? Oh, that's gonna be a whole thing. I would have voted 9, but Twitch decided, no, you don't get to gamble today. Oh, poor Hasaniko. I've been on a sweet kick lately. I might actually go and see if I can get something sweet. I'm going O-Nuts. For those who scran after. A runza, seasoned beef with cabbage and cheese in bread for $5.20. For a doner kebab, trust me, it's in there somewhere. That's just too much shit on there, right? What? Oh, we're off to a bad start. We're off to a real bad start here. Oh, why is this broken my Scrandle broke my hotkeys. What the hell? That's annoying. I'm gonna have to relaunch ViatoTube on that. Or did my controller disconnecting break my hotkeys? Huh. We'll have to look into that. Anyway. These flatbreads look amazing. They just look awesome. It's more amusing if it's Scrandle, let's be honest. Loaded nachos or sausages and sauerkraut. These nachos look. This is the platonic ideal of loaded nachos right there. How is that only? Well, it does kind of look like slop, but it's good slop. Steak and chips, croque monsieur, and ciabatta. I love ciabatta bread, but like the steak, it's steak and fries. It's gonna win. That's so low. It's just a bad picture. Oh my fucking god. It's not the slime sausage. Jesus. Under normal circumstances, I'd be perfectly fine with a slime sausage, but not this one. Sauerkraut, roasted onions. This bacon cheeseburger looks great. Burger for sure. The Boro burger. Okay, this burger looks a little unimpressive. This burger looks kind of good. Right. What? The cheese isn't even melted! Beef, makunochi bento, or hot dog. Thing Japan, this is a complete meal. 83. Japan buff for sure. Curry sandwich. Fuck this on principle, left. Come on, man. Christ. Meatball sandwich with chips or cheesy hot dog. Oh, God. All right. All right. 8 out of 10. Yeah. This one... I don't know. This just looks gross. There's just too much sauce on it. There's too much shit in this. This looks kind of appetizing to me, but I guess it could be a little gross. This one doesn't make any sense to me. This looks bad. That bun looks a little stale. The cheese is kind of bad. How is this only 66.81? God damn. Alright, that's today's scran. We're done here. Alright, now hopefully... Alright, controller's still picking up. Let me relaunch ViatoTube so I can get my hotkeys back. Those burgers are equally matched to me. Yeah, they were about even. Patty looks better there, and the bun looks better, IMO. I guess, yeah, the sesame seeds do too. As for the Donner, it beat the mush on the right. Sorry, man. Yeah, I can understand the Donner win. It just looked like way too much shit on there for my tastes. All right, where were we? Here. Hi, Namir. Finally able to catch you again. Amazing model. Thank you. It was made by the lovely Madison Bake. We'll unlock that so that we can go through here a little easier without having to go down the hallway. Scrandle hates donut. I could go for a kebab. I want, like... I need a donut and a gyro, like, right now, man. I'm not going to be able to get past you. So we're going to have to take you out. Okay, seems like 4 is the magic number. Can I examine him? Oh! I had a feeling something was wrong there. That's bad. Yep. Damn. Okay. That guy's a problem. That guy's a big problem. I gotta learn how can I use my knife? Also, I need to make sure I have my gun out. Resident Evil. Resident Evil. Once again entered the world of survival horror. Good luck. The age of a new king draws nearer. Alright. So what do we gotta do here? Okay, well... Not my finest, I must say. Not my finest. Resident Evil. Okay. I want to know how the knife works. World of Survival Horror, good luck. Yay, good luck. Okay. I'm gonna eat the herb right now, or use the herb right now, even though it's not gonna put me at full health. It will hopefully put me at not dying in one hit threshold, and then I'll see how effective is this. Not at all. Not at all. Very, very bad, as a matter of fact. You can just melee everything to death. What use will there be for resources? Yeah, I'm thinking, and judging by that, it is either a extremely high skill tool or a literal, like, I have nothing else, so I need to use this. Use the ribbon. Nope. So I think what I need to do is be a lot less conservative with my ammunition. Because damage is incredibly punishing, and it seems like healing is a lot harder to come by than bullets. And generally speaking, enemies are taking 4 to 6 bullets. Which I can account for that. Did this game have difficulty options? The character select is essentially treated as difficulty options here. Yeah, I knew something was wrong when I tried to walk past that guy and he still had collision to him. And it looks like, for reloading, you either do it in the menu or you do it automatically when you run out of ammunition. So, best to do it in the menu whenever possible. So, we will take the green herb, we will combine it with this. Will you mix the herbs? Yes. And then use that so we're back up at full health. Alright. Let's see here. This way, do I want to risk taking damage from this guy? I don't think I do. Yeah, he's still got collision to him. Okay, so if they go down in 5, they're not dead yet. So if it's ever a weird interval, keep shooting. He's still alive. Okay. That's a little annoying. Something to consider, though. If they go down and they're not actually down, that's what the knife is for. Seems like the knife does about half as much damage as a bullet. Exit botany book has been filled or filed. Unlock it. More of a groan than a moan, Larea. Alright. That's locked with the armor key. Down. Carving of armor. Alright. All that just to get back to the main room. Didn't Barry tell me to examine the first floor? Should I report back with him? Or is he not going to be here anymore? I really like the suspense of these door animations. Alright, so Barry's gone. So let's take stock of what we have here. We need an armor key and a helmet key. We have a shield key right now. We're looking to find... So we're looking to find 2 more keys. We found a map. We know where a shotgun is. Not where to use it. If I go back to the first floor, there's also the guy's body, which I should be able to get some stuff off of. Oh, it shows me doors that I haven't been down. I think those were locked, though, which is why I didn't go to them. Alright, let's go back to the first floor. And we also found a lockbox in that storage room there where we have a Chaos Emerald. I'm gonna go back over here. First and foremost, person chat, no, stop, don't open that door. This is the piano room, right? No, the piano room's at the end of the hall. This is... Yeah. So how does the constant threat of an unwinnable situation created by resource overuse add to the survival horror? Well, it's you know, that's where the tension comes from. It's balancing your resources against a pretty persistent number of threats, or pretty persistent threat level that you can't really ever fully stop. Like in the remake, Chris plays that shit so bad, Rebecca gotta come in to fix it. I haven't played the, again, this is my first time playing Resident Evil, which maybe I should put that in the stream title. That seems like a hot commodity. The first playthrough of a game like this would be pretty interesting. It's locked from inside. Can we get inside? Possibly. Most similar games I've ever played have mercy systems that spawn small amounts of additional supplies if you're completely bereft, but Resident Evil doesn't give a shit and will gleefully leave you high and dry. Yeah, which I think is in some part due to the shorter length of the game and the replayability encouraged therein. Come on, man. Fucking calm down. But it gives you a lot of opportunity to really just, you know, have a no-win situation for the player if they don't play their cards right. You know, you can have genuine, long-standing fail states if you just mess up. You'll have fun playing as Chris. I don't think we'll be playing as Chris, unless this game is a lot shorter than I think. We're in the middle of a survival horror marathon right now. Let's see here. Okay. I am a little lost on where to go currently. I have a feeling there was something in like that storeroom area that I probably could have stopped and checked. And I missed that. Let's see. How can I get to where I want to go? Oh, no, that's... I don't think I've ever been in this part yet. Or no, I have been in this part because the map is green. Do you think backtracking / staying in a persistent Metroidvania-esque open world heightens the survival aspect? For me, moving through new zones linearly doesn't elicit the same feeling. It's definitely something to consider, the area that you're in. Got him. It's definitely something to consider, yeah. Does it add to it? I think, to a certain degree, yes. It adds a lot to that, mastery of your environment thing. Familiarity with your environment is a form of mastery. It is a way of expressing skill. I'm also dead. Yep. That's gonna take a bit. Also, combat avoidance plays into it. If you dodge combat, you have to suffer later for it. Yeah. Yeah. I think that a game like Dead Space or Dead Space 2, which are, well, I feel like invoking them is a little difficult because they're leaning more towards action, but they are going through like a linear area and a set piece. But that's I think a big part of it is when you are given resources and in a sense are told which battles you need to pick or choose. Then the question becomes, you know, if I don't pick this battle now, I may have to deal with it later. So it's a degree of uncertainty that comes from the resources on hand, as well as just the drain of the resources themselves. It's, do I need to use this? And if I do use this, am I going to need it later? Like when you have a potion in an RPG. Still alive, that's a problem. Okay, noted, though, they don't have persistent locations. They spawn in a specific spot every time you enter or leave the area. Now... Well, I mean, I guess I might as well see if I can weave past it. I love what it did there as you back up and reveal the other corridor, the other zombie behind you. Yeah, the game has been doing a lot of that, which I really, really enjoy. Did I kill him, or is he just back there now? I did kill him. Let's see. If I go down these stairs, I should be able to dodge him when I come back up then. Nice. Clean. Unlocked it. And then if I unlock this from this side, if I ever have to come to this area again, I can just go this way instead of having to weave around him. Botany book has been filed. Probably don't need to do that, but unlocked it. Let's see here. That's where we are. So if we're just trying, if we know that that just leads back to the main room, then I don't know that we necessarily need to get back there right now. But I think we go back down the stairs and see what that room is that we haven't checked out yet. I'm less familiar with OG Resident Evil 1 and more familiar with the... Why am I leaving through this door? This is just a problem all around. There we go. It'd be interesting to know how much the remake keeps or changes. The remake is definitely better, but I can't deny the charm of OG Resident Evil 1. It is nice. And I feel like if I was playing the remake, I wouldn't be getting the real experience. I want to look at like the real, like strict origins of the genre, in this sense. Remake changes a lot of things. Whoa, that was fucking close. All right, off we go. The tank controls also add a degree of difficulty as well, which I find really interesting. It's, you know, mastery over your environment isn't just mastery over the enemies and the controls. Like, movement itself is something that I need to actively consider in every situation, in terms of, like, how I want to navigate. And having the character be a little bit obtuse to control is a contributing factor. I think that's interesting. You're not dead. Don't play with me like that. Oh. Let's just fuck off to a different room, shall we? Let's see. Will he be back up because he wasn't dead? He will be back up. Alright. That's just mean. For one, zombies don't kill. You don't kill via headshots. Will come back as crimson heads. More health, much faster, deals more damage. You can prevent them from rising, from destroying the head or burning the corpses. Gotcha. That's something that I remember from Signalis. In this game, if you kill zombies, are they just dead for good? Picture of a tired, middle-aged man. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Let's not do that just yet. Picture of a newborn baby. There's a switch below. Will you push it? No. We're in puzzle-solving mode right now. Let's just put that away. Picture of a young man. Switch below. Will you push it? Picture of an infant. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Alright, so assumedly we would want to do it in order of picture of a lively boy, switch below will you push it, and a picture of a bold-looking old man, switch below will you push it. The message, give me the peace of death, and I'll give you the joy of life. There's a switch below, will you push it? This one. Title is Give Me Peaceful Sleep. Picture of a tired, middle-aged man. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Let's see. Picture of a newborn baby. The switch below. Will you push it? Yes. Then this is the infant. Picture of a young man. No. Picture of an infant. Switch below. Push it. Yes. Crimson Heads feel like what inspired most of Signalis IMO. I see. Picture of a lively boy. Switch below. Will you push it? Yes. Then young man. Push it. Then tired middle-aged man. Push it. And lastly, old man. And then message, give me the peace of death, and I'll give you the joy of life. Push below, will you push it? Yep. Got it! Let's see. Will you take the Star Crest? Okay. Well, I don't know where that goes. Can I... Command... Save state options. I'm going to make a save state. Just because I do want to streamline if we die here. Goes to a pause. Excellent. Thank you, Zestful Folk. Or Zestful OK. Doing puzzles to get keys for puzzles you don't even know exist yet. It is a universal experience, is it not? Okay. Now, I can't see this zombie on screen yet, but I'm going to assume that Jill can, and therefore she can shoot him. Nicely done. Alright, and we haven't been to this part of the manor yet at all. Oh, I don't think I want to be outside. You're blind? Huh. That could be a problem. Huh. It's locked. When the sun sets in the west and the moon rises in the east, stars will begin to appear in the sky and the wind will blow towards the ground. Then the gate of new life will open. Okay, so we found the big puzzle. I will use this. There, I need to find 3 more. Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here! Alright, we're good. So where do we need to go then? We have the shield key. I still haven't found anywhere to use it. Is the problem I'm running into. Unless I'm misinterpreting the armor and helmet doors. Or keys aren't used automatically? I don't know. We don't have a second floor key or map. So I'm seeing empty doorways and I'm trying to remember if those were locked or Oh, come on now. Yeah, I'm dead. Alright, we're just gonna save state. Oh, right. Of course. I have retro achievements enabled. And I have hardcore mode on for that. So I can't use save states. Which, you know what? That's part of the experience. Okay. So let's think here. I would like to get back up to full health. I wish that I got back up to full health before I saved, but I didn't know then. Another insane PNG tuber from my goat. Wow, thank you! This one is actually made by Madison Bake. I do agree that he did a fantastic job on it, though. Alright. I'm gonna see if we can weave around this zombie. I don't think we're gonna be able to, but we're gonna try. Oh, no, we're fine. Okay, so what do I want to do? Obviously, I want to go get that star key again. But I don't need to do that yet, and it's right in front of the door. So I think what I can do... Not check. I think what I can do is just save that for later. And then get it last. And get the other keys first. Use that. Okay, question. If I have the key for a door in my inventory, do I need to use it on the door? For it to be unlocked. It's locked. A carving of a helmet. No. Can't use it here. Okay, so it will automatically unlock a door if I have the key. Good to know. Thank you. Then where the hell do I use this shield key at? Oh, no longer at full health, so that fucking sucks. Dead. Is it even worth it to go up there right now? I picked a very, very bad spot to save, all things considered. Once again, yeah, I gotcha. The world of survival horror. Look. Here's what I think. I'm gonna put the knife away. Alright, I have to select an empty inventory slot. And then grab the thing I do want. Have you considered extending the Death March? If I need to, I will. I would like to, at the very least, get through my catalog. But I also don't want to play a lot of these games to completion. And I have a lot of games already on my backlog, my stream backlog, that I would like to get to. If I can finish games early, I would like to extend it as well, because I have some other ones that I might want to slot in there, like Haunting Grounds. Seems like a fun one. Oh no, this is where the shotgun is. Seems a bit fluffy on whether you gotta use items or they just automatically get used when you touch them. I see. Locked carving of armor. So let's try the shield key. Can't use it here. Okay. Pretty sure this is the dog's hallway. Are they gonna explode out again? Enter 1F. Okay. Oh, there's an entire area of the first floor that we haven't even gone to yet. Now, are the dogs going to be aggroed in here? Or are they going to be like the one... They are going to be like the one. Okay, well, shit. That's rough. Shield key, aka the only used for the... Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what I figured. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing something in that regard. Let's see, we haven't even gone to this one yet. It's locked. A carving... Okay, well, fuck me, I guess. I've got literally no idea where to go. Were there some doors up here, up this way? Interesting way to get around, assumedly not having the tech to do slopes. Okay. I think there were doors back here that were locked, but I'm almost certain we had the shield key before we did that. Kill the zombie here. Can I examine this? I almost feel like I got the shield key early or something like that. I haven't found a single use for it yet. I would like to... I'm just gonna kill this thing. He's not dead, but we're gonna keep going like he is. That's a waste of ammo. I'm sure I'll be fine. I don't think we tried these. It's locked. Carving of a helmet. And a numerical key panel. You don't know the pass number. Okay. I am completely, fully out of ideas then. Where am I right now? He's still alive, which is very annoying. Okay, so we can go in here. This is new. Another save room. Okay. That's progress. Now, are contents of storage carried between these rooms? They are. Okay. Wondering if I want to save. Has this really done anything for me? Vitamins and serums. Something on the bed there? There is. Ink ribbon. Just one? I don't know that I want to save here. We'll make a separate save file here. Instead of saving over. So we can go back to an earlier save if we need to. I know you're not that far in, but how well do you think the game has aged thus far? I mean, it's very clearly rough around the edges in a lot of ways, but I think it's indicative of the strengths of the genre and the clarity of design in this game that a lot of what survival horror is and what works about it is already present in this game. The inventory management, a little rough. Menus are very... a little, not very, but a little dodgy to navigate sometimes. But the core of what is appealing about these games is already extremely present. So, it's aged, for sure, but it's still completely playable. Like, it has not aged in a way... Oh, well. It has not aged in a way which is significantly detrimental to the experience of playing it. I would say the only things that are really lacking in the game are quality of life features. Like, just limitations of the hardware, you know? Like, this is annoying. I will find out how to enable and disable save states, or enable save states next stream, but I'm probably still only going to be using them at save points, because the time spent dying, seeing the game over screen, going back to the main menu, opening the main menu, load game, load back into my game, well, you have once again entered the world of survival horror, good luck. This is a significant time waste that would not exist in a modern game, and does not aid the experience. This is purely detrimental, in my opinion. But other than that, like, design-wise, like, it's kind of, they got it. It's all still here. Even the tank controls, like, yeah, they're not great, but, you know, the difficulty of learning to control them is part of the learning curve of playing the game. This game wouldn't be better if it didn't have tank controls. It would be different if it didn't have tank controls. You know? Anyway, welcome to the world of survival horror. Resident Evil. How else are you supposed to notice the world of survival? You know what? You're right. You're right. I do need a little bit of that. Otherwise, I would think maybe I was playing an action game and then I'd get mad when it didn't play like one. Tank controls make it so there's always some difficulty in moving around enemies no matter your skill level with the game. Yeah, I agree. Navigating your environment is part of the mastery inherent to the systems. I remember where that key goes, but I don't know if you want a hint or not. I'll stumble around just a little bit more. Should be dead. It seems a little inconsistent as to how many they take to die. Can I... Jill, can we... It's locked? A carving of arm. Okay. Come on, man! Give me something to work with here! Why is this shield key fucking useless? Okay, where am I right now? I don't think we went down this the first time. So let's see if... Is there something we can do down this way? Oh. Oh. Oh, I see. Okay. So this is definitely where I'm supposed to be going. An old pump. Water seems to be sent from here. The lid is open. Put the herbicide in there. There we go. There's the fucking shield key. I really hope that's where the shield key goes. In the giant shield. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Where? Okay, there's the armor key. I can work with that. All right. There, and luckily there's an armor door right outside. Right? He's still alive, but fuck him. We go through here, and then we're good to go. You've used the armor. Okay, so you use it automatically. Nice. Good. Okay. Anything in this bookcase? Will you take the broken shotgun? Yes, I will. I know where to put that. And a clip. I will definitely take that. Thank you very much. And what do we have over here? Desk is locked. Will you use the lockpick? Yes, you've used the lockpick. Those are shells. You can't carry any more items. What the hell will use these for now? I'm not expecting to... I'm doing a lot of scouting right now. So we'll take those shells. Because I know where we can get a shotgun, and that should help us quite a lot in terms of ammo economy. Let's see. Shotgun was on the first floor, wasn't it? No, where was it? Where was the shotgun? Shotgun was up in this area on the complete opposite side of the mansion. Great. Good. Good to know. We're going to be carrying this for a little bit. That said, while we're here, we can stop into this room and find, there's shells in there as well. Okay. Alright. Broken shotgun goes in the shotgun room. That does help quite a lot, thank you. Okay, and this guy is here. We're not going to mess with him right now. We're going to go in here. We're going to grab the shells that are in there. And then we're going to try to come out and kill that guy. Pick up the shells. Those will stack with the ones we're already carrying. 14 shells. And then we kill this guy so that we can get to behind him. We gotta make sure this guy stays dead, because he will be a persistent problem if not. Dead. Alright. We've never been in this room. What's going on here? It reads, some tigers have a red eye and a blue eye. Oh, alright, cool. We can put that in. Nice! Alright, and then assumedly I can come back here with, take the wind crest. Assumedly I can come back here with a red gem when I find that one, and put it in there to get the other crest. You know, I want to visit a room to draw something off? That's what I was thinking as well, yes. Let's see. Where is the nearest safe room? Out the hall and around the corner. No, because we're here right now. So you need to go there, past three zombies to get there. But we want to go over this way anyway. Is there a safe way to get there? No, because we just went out and around instead of unlocking through. Shit, that's annoying. We do need to go there anyway, though, so... Is there anything left to do in this side of the house? I don't think there's anything left to do in this area. So that must mean that whatever's left to do would be upstairs. Right? It would have to be. We have one of the 4 emblems. How do we get into this room, and what does this mean? This is the piano room. What is this? I don't know what that tile is trying to tell me. This is a puzzle room. I don't think we got into this room. Also. Elevator, if I'm not mistaken? I see. So, end of the hall is where Kenneth is, which let's go check him again, because I don't think we grabbed the ammo from him on this save yet. Kenneth from Stars Bravo team. Now he's become a mere shadow of his former self. Let me take that ammo. Thank you very much. Alright. So let's... I'm not sure how to get into that door from the other side. An emblem is in place. Can't use it here. Alright. There's a woman. I still would really like to know where the shield key goes. But we have the armor key, which actually unlocks a lot of this map. Actually, I'm pretty sure the armor key gives us access to this entire last section of the first floor. You've used the armor key. Okay. Let's just use this real quick. There might be a zombie in here and we might die like instantly, and that would suck quite a lot. No? Nice. Okay. Various things. Very descriptive, Jill. Thank you. Will you take the clip? Absolutely. Okay, those seem... I assume they stack to 99 then? If it's going that high. An object of art. Are there zombies behind the bookcase in this case? No, I didn't want to leave. I was trying to hit the switch on the wall. Okay, combat question. I assume the reason that I'm able to aim up and down. Down is like if I'm trying to shoot a dog enemy or something that's just low. I assume I need to aim down. If I want to shoot a zombie in the head, do I need to aim up like this, or is shooting straight ahead how I would do that? Or are there flying enemies that I'll need to shoot later? Probably going to be flying enemies. You only need to aim up or down if they're close. Gotcha. There's a clip there. That can't be all that's in this room. What's the map telling us? Yeah. Oh, does this just keep going and then... Oh, I see. He's not really dead. Desk is locked. We use the lockpick. You know it. You use the lockpick. Shells. We'll take those. And then you're gonna get back up. Now you're dead. Alright. Or if it's like a zombie you knock down and you want to shoot it while it's ground. Okay, good. Jill, I can't believe I just died like that. Oh, didn't die, but I'm in the danger zone. What do we have here? Ink ribbon? Cool, good, I'll take that. Yeah, gladly. 2 of them. Nice. 2 herbs? That's actually really good. But I don't have any space for them. That's rough. That's very rough. Shit. You don't have the key for this... Okay. I trust you, I guess. Nothing major. Alright. I do need herbs as soon as possible. So, we have to make our way to a storage room. And then come back here. Mix those herbs so that we can heal. And then we're good to go. So, how much ammo are we working with? Alright, let's go topside then. I should... do I want to use 2 saves attempting to set up for a save? Yeah, I don't want to risk it. Especially since I'm planning on just continuing with this one. I can always just load back to a previous save and then get us back here off stream if I absolutely have to. Save your progress at this. We'll use the ink ribbon. Yep. Especially, we found... I keep saying especially. We just found another 2 ink ribbons. So, I will use those real quick. Then we go back up. I'm trying to think. Where else can we use that armor key upstairs while we're there? In the remake, there's no typewriter here. Interesting. So just in the 2 storage rooms, then. It's moved into the dining hall. Interesting. Alright. Okay. I'm not... Is it randomized how many it takes? Because it seems like some of them it's a pretty set 4, and some of them it's 6, and they'll fall down at 4. Or 3. Those ones upstairs are definitely stronger from the looks of it. They're consistently taking 6 or so. Glad I saved. We once again enter the world. Yeah, I got it. Yep. Jill, you gotta shoot 6 times in the body, then knife. Oh, God. Chris does more damage with guns? That's very annoying. Slowly, laboriously go up every single step. Yeah. I'd say a lot of the ways in which the game has aged worse are just quality of life and immediacy of responsiveness. Alright, you're not fucking dead, so I'm just gonna back away, wait for you to get up. Yeah, yeah. Now you're dead. Alright. You've used the arm. Oh, I didn't even know there was a door here. Women's share is harder. True. Very true. Herb! But I don't have the fucking inventory space. Oh, shit.
Richard, what happened?
Oh, Jill, this house is dangerous.
Is it now?
Terrible demons. Ouch!
Ouch!
You're wounded. What kind of demon attacked you?
It was a huge snake, and also poisonous. Ugh.
Poisonous? Oh no. Richard, hold on.
There is serum. Oh no, I should have brought some with me.
No problem. I'll go and get it.
Thanks.
Alright, well... Richard, I've got really bad news for you. My inventory is completely full. You're kind of fucked. All the way... You know what? Fine. Fine. I guess we'll go that way. There's what we need is there anyway. Sure. It's probably easier to go through upstairs. It's in the serum room, which has an item box. Yep. I need an item box anyway. That's what I'm really going for. So, I'll go that way instead. I killed the first zombie here. Should be able to weave around the second. Yep. Alright. This is going to be the hard part. Because there's a lot of them. Yep. Down every single step. Make sure. Alright, we made it. Good, good, good. Alright, and we can put the shotgun and everything for it in here because we're not going to need it until later. And there's a storage room directly next to where the shotgun room is in the first place. Okay. Have the armor key. We're good. I really love the safe room music. Damn. Alright. Get serum. Will you take the serum? Yes. Let's see. Would it be faster for me to just go through the first floor to get back to him? I don't think so, no. No. Would be safer. I think it would be. Is this one dead? Yes, we killed that one. Okay. So we go this way. I think before we bring him the serum, we can stop in the first room floor here and use both of the herbs. Pick both of those up, combine them. That should bring us back to almost full health. And then there's some herbs in that room that I think... Do I need to combine them with the serum, or do I just give him the serum outright? What is that even? Sweat? I see. Alright. You know, fuck it. There's no danger in between me and the herbs. We go to Richard first. Adjust the mic a little. Oh my god, it's getting so creaky. Did I go? Fuck! Uh-huh. Yep, down every single... No urgency, don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just getting my steps in is all. Alright, we're here! Surely he'll be fine.
Here's the serum. Richard, hold on. I'll give you a shot now.
Jill, here's my radio. You should keep it. I'm...
No! Richard!
Richard, no!
Be careful.
Okay, I thought the horror stinger meant he was already dead. Not like this! Richard is dead. Yeah, I'll take the ammo on his body. Why not? Two. All right. Well, we've got everything we need here. We take the green herb. Okay. Now, question, and I do want an answer to this one. Rather than combining these two and eating it now, can I combine 3 herbs to get myself back up to full health? Can't combine 3 herbs, but you can combine a red, or a green and a red. I see. So I should probably just eat this now and then combine the other herbs that I find later. That'll get me back up to fine. Green plus red equals full heal. Okay, so I shouldn't combine green unless I have to in that case. Red is worthless on its own. Yep, I remember that from the botany journal. Okay, gotcha. So I shouldn't combine green unless I have to, like in this situation where I haven't found any red yet. I think it's probably worth it to get back up to... Well, no, let's think about this, because I can take 2 hits before dying currently. Either way, I want to come here and I want to get these herbs. I think I'll Should I eat one? I don't think I need to eat one. If I get hit by a dog, then I'll eat them. I'll combine them and eat them. But for now, I can probably just pick these up and then keep them with me. And then I'll make my way over to the other storage room. So that I can get the shotgun. And then I should be good. And I can probably also store my ink ribbons in storage rooms for the most part, because it seems like most save rooms have a storage box in them. That seems like that's probably the strategy. I'm gonna go back into this right now, because we're not really in specifically a combat situation, although it is dog time. Am I gonna bump into this dog immediately? Yep. Okay, that's what I was expecting. Oh, that fucking sucks. Alright, well, so much for all that health we got back. How are we looking? Danger? Yep, we'll just use these now. The herbs. Honestly, I probably should have just died and then... Well, hold on, are we back to full health? See the statue of the lady carrying... We got the map out of that, if that's what you're about to say. The health prevented you from dying, served as perfect. Yep. Alright, so we're gonna go in here. We're gonna get the shotgun. She's caked up in the remake, just thought you should know. You know what? You may be a brand new chatter, but I'll tell you. You know me so well. Oh! Fucking juke, let's go! Keep a close eye out for items, by the way. They can be a bit hard to spot. I've noticed that. Thank you. If there's an important one that I missed, please tell me. Alright. We're gonna put... Well, I mean, I'll carry him now. Because I'm gonna be coming back here to save. You missed a room full of, like, 5 herbs? Is that genuine? Did the pump room did the pump room where we sprayed the insecticide, did that have a bunch of herbs in it? Yeah, okay, I figured. Okay. So forever strapped, motherfucker. Forever strapped for health, we can go back there. I figured. Okay. Damn. And then, is the key upstairs, is the herb room up there? Does that have a helmet key or an armor key? I can't remember. Alright, so we come on in here. Take the shotgun. And then we can't use it here. So you put down the shotgun. Okay, well, what do you want me to do here? Because I know I'm supposed to put the broken shotgun there. Oh, I just had the angle wrong? Fuck you. An urn with a beautiful picture on it. Nothing unusual. Okay. So we have the shotgun now. There we go. Ooh. I don't know how effective that's going to be, but, you know, I guess we'll We'll find out. So, if I try to leave with the shotgun, after that lever is pulled, does that lock the door, or have I correctly surmised that that is like a trapped spike ceiling room, like it looks? That was close. Alright. I'm gonna kill this guy, because he's a pretty consistent problem being near a save room and all. Two shots? I see. 3 shots it is, then. Now, can I search their bodies? No, okay. Now, what I would like to see is if I wait for them to get close, like Zestful OK was saying, can I get them in one shot by aiming at their head? Save your progress with this. We'll use the ink ribbon. Yes. Using up a lot of saves here, which will probably be fine. If I'm really strapped for saves later in stream, we will obviously resort to save states, just for the sake of brevity. Put that away. And now we got 2 inventory slots to work with. Do I need my pistol on me right now? I definitely want my pistol on me. This is our heavy hitter in terms of good ammunition. But now that we've saved, I would like to see the mechanics of shotgun. I would like to see how that works and also check upstairs, so I'm willing to die real quick. So I want to see if I wait for them to get close, can I blast them in one? Because if that's the case, that would be very useful to know. I just need a camera angle that helps me judge distance a little better. Yep. Okay, but I did get hit. Not. All right. Very nice. Very, very, very useful to know. Extreme ammo efficiency unlocked in that case. Although I was cutting it a little close there. I think this is a helmet key room. I will take the green herb. And then, let's see. It's locked. A carving of a helmet. Gotcha. Alright. Well, with that trick, we've got plenty of ammo to deal with a lot of them. You don't even need the broken shoddy to get the shoddy, do you? Is it a trapped room? Is that what's going on there? You use the armor... Okay, there's where I remember the armor key. You can get Barry to come and save you, allowing you to bypass it. Huh. How does that work? Oh. Oh. Was that death? Yep. Damn. Alright, so you gotta be real careful with that. Is like high risk, high reward strategy right there. They gotta be right up in your fucking business. Man. Alright, we'll explore a little. I'm hesitant to explore because we're coming up on 8 p.m., which is my hard stop point. So oh, that would be a really unsatisfying end to stream. Alright, level with me. Be completely honest. With guidance from chat, at the pace that I'm currently going, now that I'm starting to understand the mechanics, and if I'm using save states so that we're not wasting as much time between deaths, Is finishing next stream feasible? I have a feeling... I don't know how much progress we've exactly made. Oh, she didn't even aim for the head. She was just that close. How long will next stream be? I'm thinking between 4 to 6 hours. Okay, so you don't need to aim high. They just need to be really close. If it's 6, then maybe. Okay, so we've made less than an hour of progress in that case. That's rough. That's rough to know. This is supposed to be a 7-hour game, and with 6 hours, it's a maybe? Shit.
Resident Evil.
That's rough. Help from chat, like full backseat? Not full backseating, but like... someone with a guide, essentially, for when I do get stuck. Do not load. Alright, I think now that I've got the shotgun, and once I have save states to cut out a lot of the time lost from loading saves, that should help a lot. The Gamer Guide magazine. Do not load. Okay. I think we'll call it there then. Such a cheesy fucking... so good. Alright. I gotta say, I'm only hitting new game just to get us on a end screen or something like that. I'm loving this. I mean, obviously, I would say any of the frustration, all of the frustration that I'm currently experiencing is largely to do with, let's see, largely to do with quality of life and just the tech available at the time. My frustrations with the game are mostly from, like, time spent navigating through menus, reloading the game on a death, waiting to go upstairs and through doors and the like, and stuff like that. I understand that's just a technical limitation of the game. Those screens exist so that the game has time to load in what it's trying to load in, so that you can, you know, essentially mostly seamlessly go from scene to scene without a, you know, those are how we're hiding loading screens at this point in development, right? So I understand that. Obviously, those are limits of the technology at the time. In that way, I think that's really the only way this game has aged poorly. Gameplay-wise, all the things that people love about survival horror are here. And I'd be surprised if they weren't, because this is survival horror. This is the first proper survival horror game that takes all of the disparate elements of the genre and puts them into one cohesive game, right? If you don't like Resident Evil, it's doubtful that you will like survival horror, right? Because this is it. There is clunkiness to the controls, but part of that is the learning curve of how to play the game. The game being difficult to play is not a bug, it is a feature, I believe. I think learning how to control your character, learning the nuances of movement and combat are part of the learning curve, and they are beneficial to the horror experience. They add tension in combat, because if you have too much control over your combat, or it doesn't require enough precision to do effectively, it starts to become mindless. And if it's mindless, you're not feeling the horror of the experience. That's something that happened a lot with Silent Hill F, I think, right? You need it to be just difficult enough to be scary, right? Just difficult enough that whenever you get into combat, you ask yourself, is this worth it? Because if it's not a question of whether it's worth it or not, there's no tension inherent to the combat, right? And I think Resident Evil is doing a really good job right now of introducing these aspects of the survival horror formula. It's doing a really good job of making this nice set location with enough encounters to not feel like I'm overwhelmed by enemies or I'm completely drowned for resources. It's difficult to navigate. I have a lot of incentive to learn and master my surroundings and the mechanics. I feel like this is a really good starting area to get to grips with all of the systems at play, right? And I also think it's effectively difficult, right? I have died so many times already. If zombies grab you 3 times, you're dead. So when I see all of these other people from Bravo Team fucking just shredded all over the place, you know, when I find a dead squad mate or someone in danger, that's believable to me. Right? Thank you very much, BT, for the tier 1 sub. Greatly appreciated, right? So, the setting is immersive, which is very, very good. That's pretty difficult to pull off, I think. And the game deserves a lot of credit for effectively immersing me in the setting. Yeah, it's cheesy. Like, oh no, ow, I've been bitten by a giant snake. Ouch! Right? The lines are delivered really cheesily, and the animation is really rudimentary. But, like, I see a guy dead, and I'm not like, well, how did that even happen? Because, like, yeah, you died really fucking fast. It's completely believable that everyone in this highly trained group of military operatives is just going down like flies, right? Because I'm one of them. I've died at least a dozen times in this first stream. The difficulty is tuned really well, I think. So I like that a lot. We're off to a very strong start, and I'm really excited to play more on Monday. I haven't seen the movie, but to my understanding, this is basically the Evil Dead, the video game. I see. It definitely has a lot of that B-movie flair to it, with the black and white and the cheesy acting and the practical effects and a lot of the FMV and stuff like that. And I find that to be very endearing. It's paying homage to its roots in a lot of really interesting ways that I like a lot. So, I'm really excited to play more. I'm excited to get through this, and I'm really excited to continue the marathon. That's going to be all from me. Is there anyone in the community live that I can raid currently? Allison just went live, I think pretty recently, maybe 2 hours ago. And she is playing One Shot, which I think I had left One Shot. I had a good time with One Shot. One Shot is a meta fiction type video game. Has a lot of meta elements to it. Nice little RPG maker kind of puzzle deal that I enjoyed quite thoroughly. It was a great time. So we will raid Allison. So we can everyone can say hi and we can go see her play some One Shot. I got to raid and run, but I had a good one. Thank you very much for watching, folks. Until next time, I'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.